times, but Masterminds so far for me, Ben, have just looked far too strong for Jam Gaming to deal with. It's going to be pretty surprising once more if we see that happen. But maybe Jam Gaming can just do it. They're going to be starting off on the attack here. Masterminds going for good old dive on defense, and Dalsu is back in the roster. Previously, we did have Taki just subbing in for him, so I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that was. But regardless, we've got what looks to be the full core of Masterminds, which I suppose is even better now for them. But they do kind of have a rotating roster the majority of the time anyway. Jam Gaming, though, they're going to be going for quad tank.
I'd like to think that this
Triple
quad
tank, I should say.
Wow, Jordan, I was taking your word for it then. Will be able to make it their way through and at least get point A. I think both these teams, to be fair, should be able to get both captures here, Elfishguy, and take it through to a second attempt.
Well,
let's see how wrong I can be.
On Horizon for the majority. But for now, Jam Gaming just have to fight their way on the point, and they are getting there. Masterminds putting some damage onto them, but no Junkrat is the problem right now for Mastermind, so it's kind of be tough to get through some of those tanks.
Yeah, Junkrat certainly very useful in this sort of situation.
Oh. Both the heals go down, Ben. That's the push over.
Yeah.
Joyboy does a great job, and I'm assuming he had Kiki behind him there. But that's all said and done really for Jam Gaming. They're going to get a couple of picks here, but really, once you lose both of your healers in a composition like that, where you have a bunch of tanks that you need to keep alive, I'm sorry, but it's not going to work.
No. Makes life just that little bit difficult. Definitely want the heals. If you didn't need heals, then everyone would just run DPS, like most of the games I play. What's wrong with 6 DPS, mate?
Nothing. I mean, Soldier can do heals.
Soldier can. It's exactly what I hear day in, day out.
Got 250 health.
There's the pulse bomb. Doesn't manage to pick anyone up. Aita has one of his own. Throws it back. Uses that just a little bit better. Dalsu going down. It's a little bit of a shame as well because Dalsu has an ultimate ready to go here for Masterminds on defense. Color Hex pushes through, however. I'm not sure there's much going to come out of that. Finds both the healers. To be fair, does manage to find both the healers.
He does, but he's also managed to push back Jam Gaming by the looks of things. Joyboy is still sort of sitting on that point, and Crimson Wolf might be in danger of actually getting staggered here, and indeed pretty much will. In fact, Masterminds are going to leave him alive in the Baby Diva.
Yeah.
Really bad news.
Which is a real pain on this map. So, anyway. Gonna get it back, so easy life. We'll be fine, we'll be fine. Back in the mech, ready to go now. Yuki lurking from behind, another pulse bomb ready to go. Feels like Yuki has pulse bomb every 30 seconds here, Jordan.
Yeah, he's just pulling them out of his back pocket. But, oh my goodness, he's been demolished.
Run over by a Reinhardt. There we go, finally, Prowlord's going to be able to throw out that sound wave. Sound barrier even.
Joyboy just has to end himself there, basically, running into Jam Gaming and drowning in Jam.
They capture the first objective.
Yeah, great ultimate out from Legobril. The Earth Shadow shutting down Masterminds, and that was what Jam was waiting for. They needed to get some of those tank ultis up, and it happened. And now we've got the Graviton Surge X self-destruct combination available for Jam. That could be massive, Ben.
That's the one that gets all the kills. Throws in a pulse bomb, doesn't find any kills. The self-destruct picks up two, including the tank and the ever-annoying Color Hex here on the Genji. And they continue to find pick after pick, pushing through. Dalsu looking low, jumps back into spawn to get a heal.
Nearly capped. Oh, someone just got there on time, but it was Yuki, and he goes down straight away. Crimson Wolf gets that kill. Very fast second cap out from Jam Gaming, playing around their win condition, which was getting a good Graviton Surge out, getting a good self-destruct to follow up on that. And while they put the pulse bomb in there as well, and there was a good transcendence out from Masterminds, it just wasn't enough. I mean, you can't transcendence the self-destruct, Ben. And unfortunately for Masterminds, while they held the first point relatively well, the second does fall over fairly quickly. So it's a good fast timeout from Jam Gaming. A bit to think about now for Masterminds.
Yeah, great time. Irrespective of what Masterminds does here, they're going to have a tough second round, I guess. Well, not irrespective. I guess there's the potential for them not to get the second cap at all. And it doesn't matter that Jam did it in 4:30 remaining. But I really like that, by the way. Look at that. You've got your keyboard over some plants. That's cool. Anyway, back to the point. The point is that 4:37 is a ton of time now for Jam to work with here. And they've set themselves up. They probably could not have done that any better in reality. Their expectations.
No. Look, I mean, like, obviously they could have made the first push work with the quad tank.
Well, Masterminds could have stayed in
yeah.
spawn, right? But in reality...
That's pretty much what you would be hoping for if you were Jam. Maybe even a little bit better than what you were hoping for. Like, you'd be thinking, okay, if we can cap out both of these points, we'll probably be pretty happy. But they've actually done it with a considerable amount of time on the board still. So all they need to do here is have, you know, even a half-decent defensive side, and then coming into overtime, assuming Masterminds can cap out both points, Jam's in with a real good shot of actually having an advantage in the second phase of this map.
Yeah, a real good shot. So that's what they want. This is what they need to do, and if they're going to pick up a map here, Jordan...
I don't think the Observer can actually bump the peanut butter jar there.
Well, that would be... Yeah, that would not work very well, would it? Why can't I get through? It's like the Observer in the way. How embarrassed.
Thanks, Observer. All right, well, Jam Gaming on their defense have set themselves up with the Junkrat, perhaps expecting a quad tank, which is not going to be the case. Color Hex, every opportunity that presents itself to jump on the Widow, he's decided to go for it. So maybe he wants to build up a bit of a highlight reel.
Well, I'd be wanting to build a highlight reel, let's be real.
Yeah, let's just clip this one.
Yeah? Well, take everything. This is me. Change
He's
it to
going off,
Sandman.
Ben!
Well, he hasn't found any picks.
Oh.
He needs to find a pick first. He's doing a lot of little bits of damage.
Yeah, and that's enough for the rest of Masterminds to kind of fall in there and clean up. Kiki and Joyboy deciding to dive on those low HP targets. Render specifically was the one that was tagged down by Color Hex. And Yuki just, again, cleaning up, doing the janitorial duty under no pressure at all.
The thing is, it's hard, right? Because you can't really fight in front of those spaces. It's all open, and you're just taking little bits of damage at a time.
You need to find a way to play around it. Unfortunately, Jam Gaming did not.
Well, they did. It was called
dying.
Dying.
Yeah,
yes.
It's going to come in here and bite them in the butt a little bit, Ben, which is, let me tell you, not very fun. Carlex has got his X-ray vision on, and he's already found 2 picks. This might be an even faster cap time for Masterminds than it was for Jam.
See you later. Color Hex going unreal. This is definitely going in the Sandman highlight reel of all my great plays, because Color Hex is having an insane game here after those 2 picks, and plus what he did before. I gave him a hard time, but they're almost 2/3 of the way through. Jam coming for a bit of contention.
Yeah, and Color Hex has to go back there and look for some healing, but it doesn't really matter. The rest of Masterminds have such an advantage anyway. Pulse Bomb goes out from Yuki, doesn't manage to connect it, but again, it doesn't matter, Ben. Masterminds has just got so much to play with here that even if they're making tiny little errors and maybe not having the best of times actually pushing in, they're still making things work. And now Sound Barrier down. Jam Gaming still trying to contest. It's not going to happen though, Ben.
No, Jam will not be able to hold out from here. I like to think that Masterminds will be able to get the better of them and get that last 33%. Render finds Yuki. That's good.
That is very good, in fact. And actually, maybe Jam Gaming can hold out here, as we've seen obviously one of the DPS go down there for Masterminds. Color Hex has in the meanwhile gone and swapped off onto Soldier, which probably cost him a little bit of time.
They look so far ahead, Jordan. They grabbed 2 or 3 picks early on. Finally, in reality, Jam Gaming comes out here.
That's 2 CB live for you, man. But Masterminds still have enough time here to even potentially post a faster score than Jam Gaming. However, what that has allowed is Jam Gaming to get Coalescence, get Dragon Blade. Masterminds don't have anything really for this push, short of a self-destruct and maybe a tactical visor that come up mid-fight. Or if Yuki can get Pulse Bomb up.
Kiki trying to push in. They want to try and find a pick. The Coalescence now coming out here from Jam. That's exactly what we spoke about. But Render will go down straight away.
Denied the Dragon Blade.
Dragon Blade, see you later. Yeah, that is now gone. Ada takes out Yuki. Color Hex doing his best up top, though, with that tactical visor. You can feel a Winston behind him. That Tesla cannon tickling at his butt.
Well, that's cute. Not sure I would enjoy that, but Color Hex, he's certainly enjoying what's going on right now, being able to put a lot of DPS out. Under a little bit of pressure, though, from ATAR. Jam Gaming have withstood the assault once more. And now Masterminds, they're fighting from behind every single second that ticks away. They're going to be thinking about OT number 2 or OT number 1. That could be problematic for them now for Jam Gaming. Every single second that ticks away is a big advantage. Already with 20 seconds back extra in the bank. Masterminds another push though to come out.
Legabriel coming over the top. You can see Primal Rage ready to go. We'll pop that right at the very last moment, one would assume. You can see Masterminds also deciding now to use that sound barrier. The Legabriel trying to keep half the team away, keep the healers out.
Yep. Great work from Legabriel, really punishing the healers there. Cantus does go down early as well. Masterminds, however, starting to turn things back in their favor. Not sure they're being able to win this fight clean enough, though. There's still Jam Gaming players there. Inevitably, Prowler should go down, but the longer he can sit on that point and deny time, maybe it doesn't even matter because Jam Gaming, they just don't have the respawns in time.
Nope.
And I thought maybe they were going to be able to hold off a little bit longer, but in the end, Masterminds, they did indeed clean that up as easily as they needed to.
We got excited before, though, didn't we? We got excited before and thought that Masterminds were going to get the point, and then it was not the case.
Yes.
So
about a minute advantage here for Jam Gaming heading into overtime.
They get, what, another 30 seconds? Each team gets another 30 seconds heading from A to B.
Yeah.
Should they succeed in capturing point A?
Both teams should succeed in capturing point A. Like,
You'd
I mean,
like to think
4.5 minutes and 3.5 minutes. That's plenty of time to get that first point. But I wonder if Masterminds decide to change things up here on their attack again, or if they go for something similar. It worked out very well last time.
It did, but do you... I was going to say, do you fall for it again? But it's not like they fell for what happened before. They just didn't know how to deal with it.
Yep. They've gone for the exact same thing, Masterminds. Colax has gone back onto the Widowmaker, and that's fair enough, but it does seem like Jam Gaming have made a bit of an adaptation. They've decided not to go for the Junkrat. They're not expecting that Masterminds is going to change things up and go quad tank, and so they've decided to go back onto the Soldier. A little bit easier maybe to survive against a Widow on the Soldier than on the Junkrat. You know, you have your healing, which you can pop yourself up if you do get tagged down a little bit, and obviously sprinting around does make it difficult to hit you, but see if this can work out for Jam Gaming. They need to be ready for that Widowmaker. Seems like they've set up a little bit differently as well, you know, so their sightlines are obscured for Color Hex here.
Just how quickly Color Hex gets out there is very impressive. I love it. Right in your face, straight away. Got to be very careful. Sleep Easy has to be very careful. Yeah. That's the real answer.
Absolutely. Atar right on top of Color Hex now, and really putting him under pressure. There's a jump in from Gabriel as well. So those two guys deciding to work nicely in unison. That's really shut down Color Hex, and I wonder if he actually decides to swap off straight away here onto the Genji. Might not be a bad choice, but seems as though he will stick with the Widow for now.
Well, once the fight's on the point, Jordan, really, you're not going to see that Winston jumping down a Widow again, surely. It makes life very, very difficult. Jam picking up a couple. Crimson Wolf doing some great work there on the Diva. Aita goes down, however. See what I mean? Like, when the fight's there, only now could they potentially try and chase Color Hex down. But I don't think they're going to choose to do that. They're too busy cleaning everything else up.
Well, this is the nature of the Widowmaker. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, Hex, it's not working.
Great work, Sleep Easy.
That's the second time Sleep Easy's been able to do that, so he's still at least getting a bit of revenge. Now Yuki's going to try and pull things back in the favor of Masterminds, but it won't work.
Will not. Looked like he was doing a fair bit of damage, but alas, was not the case. We're down to 2:15 here, Jordan. Jam Gaming doing a very good job on defense.
Color Hex has swapped off.
Falling for the same tricks that worked last time. And as you said, Color Hex now swapping off to the Genji.
It just seems to me that Masterminds are kind of committing to these fights that are disadvantageous for them anyway. You know, they lose a player here or there, or someone gets out of position, but they're still deciding to take the fight. And Jam Gaming, they have to execute safely, and they just have to make sure they trade effectively, and they are doing that so far. Masterminds is not putting themselves in positions to actually win these fights. They're just putting themselves in positions to fight and kind of hope for the best. And right now, though, the swap, I think, is a good choice.
With only 1:30 on the clock here as well, Jordan, Jam Gaming having that ultimate advantage. Yuki comes in from behind, throws it out, doesn't find anyone there. Self-destruct comes through as well. Unsuccessful, unfortunately. Render here, ready to go with that Cac Fires, and that one is now going to be popped. Pushes through. Hasn't found anyone so far. No one in his sights at all. You're in my sights, but you're not really, I guess, is the end result, but does manage to find Joy Boy at the end. Kiki's found 3, or one of them's the... One of them is the other Diva, however, so that's not as necessarily the case. But Jam Gaming starting to lose players here, Jordan. Masterminds getting the ticks they need. They're going to have about 120 now to push through.
Yep. Well, Jam Gaming might have only had a single DPS in that fight because Render was essentially just running around behind the point for 30 seconds and not necessarily doing a whole lot of damage, which is not very fun for him or for his team, and also getting picked off right now. Really bad timing. Parallel does res him back up, but that's no res available now for this.
No. Couple of ultis now coming out from Masterminds. They do have that ultimate advantage, and they are going to need to make the most of it here. You can see the Dragon Blade coming out from Colorhex. Finds one, finds two. Finally goes down to Legabriel. Nice catch coming out there from the tank. But they are capturing the point, Jordan, 2/3 of the way through. And Legabriel looking low now with that Discord orb. Will get picked up here. They're going to need to trickle onto this point. And what was an average first push becomes a fantastic second point here for Mastermind.
Absolutely. Kiki's having a fantastic game right now. You can see how much pressure he's putting on both the DPS and the healers of Jam Gaming. He seems to be everywhere around the map and putting up a lot of numbers right now, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough for Jam Gaming to actually cap things out. They need a few more consistent picks, and it seems as though the picks are going the way of Jam Gaming. However, even despite that, Masterminds are up to 81%.
Yeah.
Again, another great little play there from Kiki. Shuts down Render.
Big work to be done here, Jordan. It's about to head on into overtime. Masterminds now on their final push. So close, but so far away. The spawns are going to take so much longer as well. Kiki's now being demech. Joyboy, you can see rushing through there as to Winston. Legabriel with the Primal Rage. I don't think that Masterminds can capture this point.
No, they should not be able to at this point. Jam Gaming should, in theory, be able to hold things off, and it's just Dalsu left. The overtime's going to tick away. No one will be able to get there, but all in all, Masterminds are probably going to have to be pretty happy with that. 81.9% on the second point. About 5 minutes for Jam Gaming to get that. Yep. It is a holdable scenario for Masterminds. This is still anyone's game.
Well, we said, Jordan, this is the one. Yeah. This is the one that Jam should have the advantage on.
Yeah, definitely. But Masterminds,
if there's anywhere,
they need to make sure they have a bit of a better hold on point A as opposed to what they had last round, which it fell fairly quickly. Again, we're going to go back to the quad tank by the looks of things for Jam Gaming, or triple tank, I suppose. Atar doesn't really play anything except Tracer. And that worked out really nicely for them once they got their ultis up. So maybe Masterminds need to think about taking a Junkrat here, but it seems like they will decide to just go back to the dive comp.
Nothing's going to stop me, Jordan. That's what Lucio says, but I don't know. I think maybe they are going to be able to stop Masterminds here.
Favouring Jam?
Yeah.
Spread the Jam?
All
over your body?
Indeed. Yeah. That's it.
With no clothes on?
With clothes on, mate. Yeah.
Well, maybe you're not favouring Jam enough then. You need to get more involved. Get involved! My ultimate is charging. Big moment though for Jam Gaming. I mean, this is definitely a winnable map for them, and if they take a map off Masterminds, that would be better than what anyone else has been able to do.
Well, that's it. And you know, always having those maps in your for and against is handy should you require it down the track as well. Getting down to the nitty-gritty of this competition, Jordan. Straight away, we're going to get into a very big fight here. 3 tanks pushing through, 3 tanks staying alive forward now. Sleepy's are getting low, Crimson Wolf getting low as well. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Joyboy now and Colorhex both going down. We'll see Crimson Wolf getting demech, but an opportunity here to come back. Are they going to push it to the point? I think it's probably the smart choice.
Yeah, that's definitely what they should be doing right now. They're making good headway. But Crimson Wolf still on that baby Diva. That's a concern for Jam Gaming right now. Render up to a lot of damage. And oh, he does actually go down to the Pulse Bomb there. I thought that he was going to have a shield available. Apparently not. And now Mastermind starting to swing things back in their favor. Just a little bit off the back of that pick from Yuki. Cantus, however, gets dropped. And Legabriel getting close to that Earth Shatter. Doesn't need it here, but it's going to be very useful on that second point. That's a fast cap out from Jam Gaming. They've got 4 minutes to play with to get 81.9%. Again, they're on the cusp of taking a map off Masterminds.
This is it, Jordan. This is the time for Jam to shine. You don't really want your Jam to shine. You just want it to taste good, but
radioactive Jam.
I don't think it matters here. Glow-in-the-dark Jam, who cares?
My only concern is where's the follow-up going to be off this Earth Shatter if they do get a good one off. Colorhex with the Dragon Blade. He's been shut down.
Oh! See you later. 2 huge picks coming out for Jam. Make that 3. This is prime position. They just need to clean the rest of the team up. They only need 82%. That is enough. That will get them victory.
Joyboy's got Primal Rage here, though, so he can definitely stall for Masterminds if he's able to get that one off, which he should be able to. And right now, it's not looking too bad for Masterminds. In fact, despite losing players, they are still being able to continue that trickle onto the point. Kiki and Joyboy are still very much in the mix, so some big tanks that Jam have to pull through, and the sound barrier comes out as well, making life even more difficult for Jam.
Yeah, Jam also had been fighting off the point there, not in a great position. Self-destruct, sorry. We'll see. Is it time to combine? Not yet. Not yet.
No. But this is really good for Jam Gaming right now. They've gotten that first tick. You know, they're 33% of the way there. Even actually more than that, given they only have to get 81.9%. But now they have that really powerful combo that we saw from them in the first round, where they had the Graviton Surge out from Render, the self-destruct from Crimson Wolf, and that was enough to push them through to a very, very fast capture time on the second point. Once it is possible to do it again now for them, but Masterminds have got a bit of a different defensive setup.
They just need to stack ult, Elfishguy. We say it a lot, but they have the time to work with here. Let's see if this Riptide will shut something down. It does. Render, this appears.
Yeah, and Crimson Wolf has been demeched as well, so not sure if the self-destruct came out. I have to assume it didn't. No, it did not. That's fine for Jam Gaming. They have lost a little bit of time there, but they've still got all those important ultimates available. What I do like, though, from Masterminds is that they're playing really well around Jam Gaming's win condition. They know that they haven't seen that Graviton Surge yet. They know they haven't seen the self-destruct yet. And look at how spread out they're playing. They're not even giving an opportunity over to Render to get a half-decent Graviton Surge out. They're completely nullifying that.
Well, that's it. They almost need to bait Masterminds onto the point. They need to bait them in to fight it out together. Maybe they can do that with the Coalescence, prolonging a fight here, Jordan. There we go. It comes out. Coalescence comes through as well. The self-destruct comes through. Any kills? Not this time. The combination did not work like they needed it to. They're still on the point. Color Hex here on the Bastion. Now in tank mode coming through. Will get forced back. You can see Joyboy back onto the point. Crimson Wolf will go down here as Baby Diva. They're just waiting, waiting, waiting. There we go.
Yeah, not good from Jam Gaming. They use their big combo. They don't get anything out of it. They have to change things up. Obviously, it was not working, and so Render goes back onto the Soldier, deciding to get off that triple tank setup that they had. Legobrill as well onto the Winston, but I feel as though they've given Masterminds too much room to work with now. Jam Gaming are going to have a real hard time of even getting up to 81%. And they've only got 50 seconds left to work with. Masterminds with 3 ultimates available, almost 4. Ben, I think Masterminds are going to clutch victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, if Jam win here, it's going to be because they dodged this Riptire. Potential to do that, 57-54, very low, about to run out of time.
Finds 2.
Finds 2.
After all that, you can still manage to find 2.
Oh man, this is not looking good for Jam at all.
Yeah, it has to be a full reset.
Look at this, 3 ultis ready to go.
What are we looking at here, Ben? For Jam Gaming, the only way that they win this is if Atar gets a pulse bomb onto maybe
everyone,
Cantus and a Color Hex at the same time or something like that, because right now Jam have got nothing to work with. They have to push into 3 ultimates. They'll give it their last crack, but look at that. I mean, really, Ben, is there even any point?
So, do you like apples? Look, they're on the point, they're fighting hard, but the reality is they cannot succeed here. It's unfortunate. They did well. They gave it their best. The real thing, the real talk here, Elfishguy, the real talk is that we saw them having to rely on that win condition their first time through.
Yes.
And if it was that easy to hit it every time, teams would just hit it every time. And clearly, you can play around it. That's what happened. It didn't work.
Yep.
And
that's exactly it.
They just weren't then able to push through without the benefit of having that self-destruct, without having that Graviton Surge available.
Yeah, Jam Gaming, they had the tools that they needed there. They had the Earth Shadow in the first push. They had the combo between self-destruct and Graviton Surge in the second push, but Masterminds were just much more aware of what they needed to be playing around in that second sort of stage as opposed to the first stage. You know, they kind of got a little bit caught off by getting hit by a massive Graviton Surge and in the first, and then in the second they were sort of, you could see Yuki was sitting up the top of the rafters the whole time. They had a Bastion sitting at the back of the map, and Ana as well, which doesn't need to get involved in the fight. Can stay quite far away and still have an impact with that long-range healing. So
no Fire, Jordan.
I really liked
far away.
Quite far away. Well, that would be funny, wouldn't it? But I really do like the way that Masterminds, or I did like the way that Masterminds played around that. They knew exactly what the win conditions were for Jam Gaming, and they knew exactly how to counter that.
Look, up against a slightly less experienced team, Jam Gaming would have won.
Yeah, very much so.
They really put out a fight, and they did well, capturing the A point quite convincingly 2 times in a row. And I think maybe they are just better on those assault-style points. Maybe that is where they fit in for whatever reason.
Maybe. Unfortunately, not good enough here against Masterminds to get a map. So that is actually Masterminds winning the series 3-0. Now all that really remains for them to do is close it out 4-0. Make sure it's the perfect run heading into playoffs and heading into finals, because realistically, that's exactly where Masterminds is going at this point.
Well, let's go and take a look at what our last map of the day will be and why it will be Junkertown.
Last map of this match. We've still got another match.
Yes, well, we have an exciting match coming up. Though that was exciting. That particular map was quite entertaining.
It definitely was, but for Jam Gaming, I think the going does get a lot tougher, because moving on to Dorado, I'll give you one guess as to what hero I'm expecting to see here from ColorHex, Ben.
Does it start with a W?
Yes.
Is it Winston?
No.
Oh.
It was a good try. 50-50. You failed. But Widowmaker is probably what we're going to be seeing on the cards here from ColorHex. Every single time that opportunity has presented itself, he has picked it up. And I got to say, I don't think it was hugely impactful on Horizon Lunar Colony, but certainly on Hollywood it was. So
well, the fact that it was, to be fair, impactful to a degree on Horizon Lunar Colony, a map that you don't often see teams play, Widow on particularly in Australian
Now
Contenders.
that really puts a spanner in the works for me, doesn't it, Ben? Because ColorHex isn't playing.
Wow.
But it's okay. We've still
How
got a Widow.
embarrassing.
Tails is quite competent on that Widowmaker as well, so it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
I just got bullied by Masterminds a little bit there.
They knew you were going to do it, Jordan. They knew what was going to happen.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you deserve it, to be honest.
I don't think I do. Render's going to pick up Widow of his own.
Elfishguy got cupcakes today and won't share them with me.
Yep. You're on a diet, Ben.
I'm on a diet.
I'm really just looking out for you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. It's not working very well. Let's see who wins the Battle of the Widows. The answer right now, straight away, is Tails.
Even see him.
Oh, man. So good.
Yeah. And the rest does come out onto Prowler, but Tails, he just really wants to take this 1v1, doesn't he? You can see continually peeking his head up and down and up and down. It's whack-a-mole time. And the moles do not get whacked. They hide back in their hole. But Masterminds so far are really putting Jam Gaming under the pump. Both their tanks diving in onto all the squishies, and
there we go.
While Render will get the better of Tails, it's going to be for naught, as he will go down subsequently, and the rest of Jam was essentially dead at that point as well.
They're holding so far forward here, Jordan, on defense. We really don't see this very often. And I know so often the teams will fall back to this point we can see right now underneath the bridge. One of the first sort of choke points here. The Masterminds using up a ton of time here just to force it out, make that life a little bit more difficult. Maybe they want to close it out for 4.A.
Yeah, that was definitely not necessarily Mastermind's full committed hold, because now they're really going to be able to hunker down behind that bunker down behind the bridge, I should say. And this is where the going even gets tougher for Jam Gaming. You saw how much of a struggle it was to actually even push through to the bridge. And well, Render goes down. Tails again, coming up with a nice shot on that Widowmaker. And I got to say, I think watching a Widowmaker is probably the most enjoyable thing for me about Overwatch.
Yeah, it's because you're a dirty, filthy sniper lover.
I don't, actually. I hate snipers. I hate Hanzos and I hate Widowmakers.
Wow.
As a general rule, when I'm playing, when they're on my team and when they're on the other team.
If you're a Hanzo Widowmaker main, get out there on Twitter and tell Elfishguy what you think of him.
But I love watching it.
It is fun. It is fun.
Impact plays.
Look at this. 2 minutes left on the clock. They're holding so far forward on defense. The reality is that Jam has struggled on payload maps against teams that are better than them, and they are definitely struggling here. Yeah,
they definitely are. Jam Gaming, minute 50 still on the clock, so some time to work with, but they're just not making anything happen. X-Ray Vision is out for them right now, and this is where we need to see Render having an impact. He has gotten rid of Tails, and there's not going to be a res available. Masterminds don't have a Mercy. Masterminds decide to go on the offensive, though, and it works out very nicely for them. So the dive comp, minus obviously the Genji, still very impactful for Masterminds, and Jam Gaming, well, they get the one pick, but Masterminds, it's still their go signal, and they know that they have enough to get rid of Jam Gaming, even despite losing Tails there. So, just Masterminds, every single time Jam has an advantage, pegging their way back into it.
Yeah, doing a very good job, holding, again, still quite far forward. And the reality is here, Jordan, that Jam may not make it to the first point right now. Tails Still on this Widow, having a quite good game after subbing in for Color Hex. Oh, as I say, that Tails does go down to Render. So did Legabriel though, and that was interesting because I think Legabriel, maybe it was Joy Boy. No, I'm sure it was Legabriel that used the ultimate coming through the Primal Rage. So
well, Legabriel's down to 5%, so that would probably make sense.
So is Joy Boy, pretty much.
Yeah, Joy Boy was sort of in Primal Rage as you were talking about it, but for now, Jam Gaming, they've got essentially one more push left.
Their last shot.
I mean, they're coming up on some ultis. Valkyrie's almost there. Render's almost got Infrasight as well. So we'll see if they can make this one work. They definitely have a big ulti advantage over Masterminds, and Joy Boy's going to get picked. So this might be the best possible chance for Jam Gaming to make something happen.
Yeah, Joy Boy jumping a long, long way forward there and getting caught out, unfortunately, for it. Self-destruct does come through. Nothing, however, coming out of it. You can see Infrasight being used now by Render, who's quickly goes down. Sleepy's ready to go as well there with the trance. Tails getting forced back. Almost getting picked up, getting the heals, thankfully coming through as Atar tries to chase him down. It's taking a very long time to get rid of Tails there. And in the end, Atar is not successful. They're into overtime. They're on the point. Self-destruct continues to come out here. Picks up no one. Tails finally wins that battle.
Yeah, all it takes is one shot out from the Widowmaker and the Tracer is gone. Yuki pops out the Pulse Bomb, gets Prowler. That's a big, big kill. Sleepeasy down to half as well. If he gets dropped, oh my goodness, Masterminds, they might just hold this one, Ben. But Yuki's going insane.
Oh my goodness.
What is that?
Oh my goodness. And unfortunately, Crimson Wolf off the point for trying to get a half-decent self-destruct in. Probably didn't expect his entire team to get picked up by one Tracer in the time that it took for the mech to go up in the air and then for him to land back down on the payload. So,
yeah,
not a great attacking phase here for Jam.
No.
But probably going to be a 4-0.
Well, yeah.
I was looking for a...
I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah.
But I would agree.
Masterminds, to be fair, let's swing this around. Masterminds showing just how good they are. That's the reality of this, being one of these top teams in the region.
Yeah. Well, this is what we want to be seeing the top teams in the region be
able to do this.
Yes, exactly.
They shouldn't drop maps to teams that aren't necessarily up to par. They shouldn't have maps, especially in a map pool of 8 maps, right? They shouldn't have maps that they can lose to these teams. They should really, if they want to be at the top of their game, if they want to progress, firstly, to be the top of the region, but then beyond, as players and as a team, they need to lock this sort of thing down first, because it's something that their opponents, when they're better than them, will really take advantage of.
Yeah, definitely. And that is going to give, obviously, us a little bit of hope, maybe, if we do end up seeing some of these teams play internationally. For example, how Blank Blue has gone to play in Pacific Contenders. I mean, some of these teams currently in Australian Contenders might even be able to challenge something like Pacific Contenders if they were to.
I'd love to see the games, Jordan. I'd love to see the top
teams.
I
would really like to see that as well. But look, obviously not going to get to see that. So we just have to be content with Masterminds versus Jam Gaming for now. And I'm not sure that it's going to be lasting too much longer, if I'm honest, Ben. I think Masterminds should clean this one up in more or less their first push. Tail's going to be straight back onto the Widowmaker. That's a big call,
but yeah, they don't have to go far, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, really, it's just going to be one big, long push. Unless Jam Gaming can find something for us here, pretty impressive. But the dive does come out for Masterminds.
Certainly does. Everyone's still going strong. Everyone's still alive. Tails trying to find a pick, not being successful, getting a little bit of damage down, but the payload continues to push forward. You can see that dive coming up there onto the high ground. Render force back, and now they're going to battle it out on the payload itself. They cannot allow it to go any further. They have so little room to work with here, Jordan.
Yuki almost gets the pick there onto Legabriel, but doesn't inevitably go down. So I am wrong. They haven't been able to do it in their first push. They're going to need to regroup and go for a second.
Well, that was a silly prediction anyway, Elfishguy 11. That's all I'm going to say, mate.
I never make silly predictions.
Yeah, okay. Yuki trying to be all sneaky beaky-like, coming around from behind, Pulse Bomb in hand, ready to go. How many can Yuki find? The answer is going to be...
Oh, he gets Sleepeasy. That's pretty big. And now looking for Prowler. Already we've seen Yuki going absolutely ham on Mastermind's defensive side on that Tracer. So far, well, I mean, not so much just yet on the attack. He's definitely doing well.
Not so much, but He's had free reign for a little while. You see the trance now coming out. The payload was moving forward. They had to do something to stop it, and a trance, well, that is a start, I suppose. Kiki's gone down, self-destruct now comes out, finds Canters, and Masterminds will be slowed down once again here.
Crimson Wolf with a nice self-destruct, as you said. Masterminds indeed being slowed down. Jam Gaming fairly solid on their defense, as a general rule, actually, throughout this entire series. Have not looked too bad on it. It's just, I mean, I think they're attacking sides that have let them down. But Masterminds, I don't think they're going to be too concerned. You can see they've had some pretty cheap fights. You know, they've gotten the payload up to the bridge. They haven't used their utilities, their ultimates. Tails now popping off with the X-ray vision. And now Mastermind's going to come up on some real big power plays.
Well, the Diva pushes through. Potential here now for these Saints to get caught out on the high ground, and that's precisely what happens to Crimson Wolf. D-Mech less than ideal, that is for sure. Yuki finds one, or that's just Crimson Wolf in baby deep form. Render, though, from behind. Potentially now the hopes and dreams of Jam Gaming lies in this Dragon Blade as Tails has been picked up. Well, Mastermind's doing great work on attack. There's two gone, including Render on that Genji. And the payload will start making its way through.
Yep, it certainly will. Lego Brill is going to be able to survive there, so Jam Gaming will at least be able to get one more touch onto this payload before they end up losing. But Mastermind's definitely in the pole position right now. Jam, this is their last chance.
Look, it's only 1 minute on the clock, Jordan, so if Jam can win this fight, Masterminds are really going to have to put the effort in. This is the potential. This could be the map the Jam brings back. We wrote them off, but that's not a good start.
No, definitely not.
That's
Kiki,
not the
again,
start.
is just having an absolutely massive game here as well. I mean, in all the talk about Yuki and Tails and Color Hex and all the DPS for Masterminds, the tanks are doing an excellent job for them as well. So Masterminds close it out 4-0. I think Kiki really had an excellent Horizon Lunar Colony and Dorado as well to boot. So all in all, I mean, this is the result that we expected out of that matchup, Masterminds and Jam. At least Jam was able to push Masterminds for a bit.
Look, Jordan, you said it was going to be one long push.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Almost didn't make it there in the end. Almost wasn't good enough.
I've been known to lie in the past. Just little ones.
Okay. Just like you, mate. So, Masterminds, the 4-0 victory. To be fair, what we expected, what was anticipated. Maybe what we didn't expect was Jam to take it to them almost across 2 maps, the last 2 maps there.
Yeah, well, look, I think Jam really only took it to them on Horizon Lunar Colony. I will have to disagree. I don't think Dorado was maybe as close as it seemed.
I'm trying to make it sound better.
I know, but look, I mean, you don't want to sort of be down and out about Jam there, but at the end of the day, it was a 4-0. And they have challenged a little bit, but Masterminds was the better team. The far better team, and that's exactly what we would have expected. Now Jam Gaming, they just have to focus in on their match next week, which is going to be the really important one for them. That's going to sort of decide whether they're in 3rd or whether they're in 4th. But Masterminds have essentially now secured themselves 1st place.
Seeing that game, that gives me hope that Jam, for them, will be able to take it to Knock Predators next week. If you're a Jam Gaming fan,
definitely.
Should be feeling
Jam could,
okay about that.
I think
reckon
Jam's probably a bit stronger than Knock Predators.
I think so too, but you know, the way that they had a better go up against Masterminds than Drop Bears did, in my opinion.
You know what? You're actually probably correct. Like, Drop Bears didn't get anything against Masterminds. But again, you know, that's... I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily too big of a deal, really. Drop Bears, they just seem to have a really, really off day at that point.
Drop Bears dropping 4 maps.
Yes, yeah, drop 4 maps bears. I don't know what you want to call them, but obviously it wasn't great for Drop Bears. For Jam Gaming, well, they've done a little bit better there, maybe against Masterminds than Drop Bears have. I don't think there's too much to read into it, to be honest. We just have to see how they go, assuming they get through to playoffs. That's going to be really where everyone's going to start to bring their A game.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to go through, but Mastermind's feeling good, and let's take a look, a recap, I suppose, of our schedule. Jam Gaming going down 0-4 up against Masterminds, but Elfishguy.
Let's hope we don't see another 0-4.
The next game is the game.
Or a 4-0.
We've only hyped up probably 6 or 7 games so far.
We've probably been hyping this one for the entire season.
Right, 6 or 7 games we've hyped up. Of those 6 or 7 games, 1.5 of them have probably lived up to the hype.
Yep.
So, this is the one.
This is the one.
This is the one that's going to live up to the hype. We're not going to be wrong.
If you were going to watch one match of Aussie Contenders this season, It would be this one.
Would it? Or would it be
Yes.
the grand? I'd watch the grand. Personally, I'd watch the grand final. But if you're going to watch
No,
one
no,
match,
the regular
a
season.
regular season Aussie Contenders, it would be this game, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. This is going to be, on paper, the best match of the season.
All right.
I'm not going to say it is going to be because I don't necessarily know. Every time I've said something like that, it's ended up with a bit of egg on my face. But Blank Blue and Darkside, please, do not let us down.
Well, it's the top of the table clash for Group A coming up next. Darksided up against Blank Blue, who will prove themselves as the #1 team of their group and who is going to have the top seed going into the grand finals. We're going to find out right after this. Don't go anywhere.